Hello guys and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. Been a little while since I've done a video, been about a week now since my all-time Premier League 11 video I put out last week. And my God, did that boil some piss. I was getting abused left, right and centre through some of my pals in the group chats, which is what I was hoping it would do, to be honest, as I did put some controversial ones in there. But hey, just my opinion, don't mean people have to agree with it. But yeah, it was a good video, got some good interactions, and yeah, like I said, caused some good debates in my group chats, which is what I hoped it would do. Much like what this video might do. Obviously there's not been much Arsenal stuff to talk about as we've had our mini break. We are back on the weekend against Palace, and I'll be doing my preview to that in the next couple of days. But in this video I just wanted to look at and go through what in my opinion would be the Premier League team of the season so far. And yeah, just go through a few predictions as well that I think may happen to from the second half of the season. So yeah, let's just go straight into it. In goal, I think there's been two standouts in Vicario and Alisson. I think both of them have been really good this season. No one else has really reached that sort of level, I'd say. But if I had to go for one, even though I do think Alisson is the best keeper in the world, and if I had to pick one for my team, I'd pick Alisson all day long. But right now, just based on performances, I will go with Vicario in goal. I think he's been a big reason why Spurs have been a lot better this season than they were last season. I think he's come in, settled really well, probably surprised a lot of people. I didn't know who he was before he came to Spurs. And I don't think a lot of Spurs fans knew who he was. But he settled into the league really well, and he has been, to be honest, I've been really impressed with him, which absolutely kills me to say. In an ideal world, I don't want any Spurs players in here, but unfortunately there's going to be a couple at least. But yeah, I think he's been really good, and so far, I would just say, just maybe because of the surprise factor as well, but consistently I think he's put in good performances, and I think he deserves to be in team of the season so far. Hopefully, come the end of the season, he's nowhere near it and Spurs are falling off a cliff, but let's see. Right back, I'm going to go Trent. I think overall he has, Trent's Trent. We all know what he's like defensively. He isn't the greatest, but his ability going forward, and he, at the end of games a lot now, he's moving from right back into midfield, and he's just dictating games. And he's such a massive reason why Liverpool are top of the league at the minute. And with him being out for a while, it could be something that really impacts Liverpool's title challenge, in my opinion. He's just unbelievable on the ball, and he's technically one of the best players in the world. His crossing ability is brilliant. He scored some very important goals. Always chips in with assists. Yes, like I said, defensively he does leave a lot to be desired, and I do think it's an area where teams do try and target Liverpool by attacking Trent. But overall, I just think he's been the best right back. Apart from him, there's not been probably many standouts. I think Ezri Konsa's played really well at right back for Villa, considering he's not a natural right back. Pedro Porro, he deserves a shout, actually. I think he's been really good. Probably quite unlucky to miss out, actually, for Spurs. Kind of similar to Alexander-Arnold, really. He's exceptional going forward. He's got great technique in crosses and dead balls and stuff. Scores some nice goals. But I'd say he's probably overall maybe even slightly better than Trent. But Trent's just overall ability on the ball just absolutely pisses over everyone. But Pedro Porro actually does deserve a shout. But I will edge it to Trent. Centre-backs. Sorry, guys. Centre-backs, I think, is probably maybe the easiest position to pick. I'm going to go with William Saliba as the right centre-back for Arsenal, and Virgil van Dijk on the left centre-back for Liverpool. Two of the best centre-backs in the world at the moment, and they're just brilliant defenders, and they've both been absolutely amazing so far this season. So both have to go in there. Like I said, both got a shout for being, at this moment in time, the best defender in Europe, let alone just in the Premier League. Left back, I'll go with Destiny Udogie for Spurs. Left back's a bit of a weird position in the Premier League, isn't it? There's not really many top left backs. You've got Andy Robertson, but obviously he's been injured for quite a while. I think when Luke Shaw's playing well, I think he's brilliant. But yeah, it's not it's not a position we're particularly blessed in. Estepinian from Brighton, if he hadn't have got injured, and he had played the whole season, he could possibly be right up there. So I think he's a top player. But Udogie coming into Spurs first time this season. Only a young kid, and I think he's been really good, to be fair. I do think he's ever so slightly overrated. People go on like he's absolutely unbeatable and he's amazing, but I've seen a lot of wingers beat him quite easily. He has been sent off and at least once, and maybe picked up a ban for 5 yellow cards. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he has done very well, and he definitely deserves to be in there. Just think slightly overrated, and hopefully he does go downhill, as I said, because he obviously plays for Spurs. In midfield, holding midfield, and for me, signing of the season, and that's not just me being biased, but it will be Declan Rice. I think he's just been amazing since he's come to Arsenal. Didn't really realise how good of a player he is. Scored some important goals. His leadership, his ability to win a ball back is absolutely insane. So yeah, I think I'm going to put him in there. Like I said, at this moment in time, I'd say he's been signing of the season. I think a lot of people would probably agree. When you sign a player for 105 million, but no one really has a look at the price tag or mentions it, they must be doing well. Rodri's obviously had a very good season as well, but he spent a lot of time this season suspended. I think he's missed four or five games through suspension in the league so far this season. But Rodri is definitely the most important player in the Premier League. You see, when he plays, Man City don't lose. And when he doesn't play, Man City do tend to lose games. Any game City have lost this season, he hasn't played. So he is obviously the best defensive midfielder in the world. But just because of his suspensions, I'm giving it to Rice. And that's why Rodri's not quite making my team yet. By the end of the season, I'm sure he'll be in everyone's. But just right now, for the halfway point, I'm not going to put him in there. Into my other two midfielders, I'm doing this like a 4-3-3, by the way. On one side, I'm going Bernardo Silva. I think Bernardo Silva is, well, before De Bruyne was back, I think he's the best player in the Premier League. I think he's absolutely unbelievable. And I think it kind of goes under the radar how good he is sometimes, because he plays in a few different positions. But that's, for me, why I think he's so unbelievable, because you could put him as one of the eights. You could put him on either wing. Pep's even used him at left back and flipping DM at times, but he seems to be world class in every position he plays in. He's just an unbelievable player, and one who I think, like I said, slightly goes under the radar sometimes. I think he would start for any team in the whole of world football. Personally, I think he's just absolutely unbelievable, Bernardo Silva, and a big reason why City have stayed within touching distance and will now probably kick on and go and end up pissing the league in the second half of the season. The other midfielder, there's been a few are in contention for this. I think Cole Palmer's been really good at Chelsea. Douglas Luiz at Villa. But I am going to give it to John McGinn of Villa. Might be a little bit of a rogue shout, but I think John McGinn's been brilliant. He's already, I think, got his best goals tally he's ever had in the Premier League this season. And I think he's just been so consistently good. Such an important player for Villa. Obviously, Villa are in the top four at the minute. They're punching well above their weight. In the last few games, it has looked like it might start sliding down and probably getting back into that round 6th, 7th maybe. But right now, they're still in the top four and they're still in it. And a big reason is their captain, John McGinn. I think he's just been brilliant, to be honest. He's got so much work rate in there. He's got good quality on the ball, got a great left foot. And I think at this moment in time, he just deserves to be in there. But there are other people, like I said, you could argue, like Cole Palmer, Douglas Luiz, and probably some others that I just can't think of off the top of my head right now. But yeah, for right now, I'm just going to give it to John McGinn. Like I said, come the end of the season, I don't think he'll be in it, but right now I'll put him in there. And in the front three, Mo Salah on the right, just because he's doing what Mo Salah does. When you watch Mo Salah, I don't think his actual overall performances have been all that great this season, but he will always contribute. And, he's got more goal involvements than he has played games this season. I think he's got 14 goals, 8 assists in 22 games, something like that. He's just incredible. So I think he has to go in there. Wait, that's the same goal involvements in it, but either way, same goals involvements as he has games, and he's just been absolutely brilliant. So he has to go in there. Up front, got to be Ollie Watkins for me. Again, I think he slowed down recently, maybe in the last couple of weeks, but scored a hatful for goals for Villa, and again, a massive reason why they're punching above their weight at the moment. And Haaland, obviously, being injured as long as he has. I mean, he's still got like 14 goals, which is ridiculous, and he's missed God knows how many games now. But yeah, for now, I think Ollie Watkins deserves to be in there. And then on the left, I'd say Heung-min Son for Spurs. Really truly plays more up front now, but he's got back to his best form this season. After last season, he wasn't great. Took the armband for Spurs, and he has been brilliant. As much as I absolutely hate to say it, but he's been great, so I think he's got to be in there. You know, you look at some people like Jared Bowen, he probably deserves to be in there somewhere and deserves a shout as well, but I'll just edge it to the other three currently. But Jared Bowen's been brilliant. Solanke's been brilliant. He deserves a shout, really. You know, and there's probably a few others, but they're the ones I would go for right now as my Premier League 11 team of the season. I do expect, you know, quite a few of it to change. I think Saliba and Van Dijk will probably end up staying in there come the end of the season, possibly the keeper as well, and probably a doggy, because I said there's not really many great left-backs. Rice, I think, will stay in there, and probably Salah and maybe Trent. But, you know, I think the rest, I think there's options that all ends up changing second half of the season. Yeah, I'm just going to go into some predictions for the end of the season. So my top four will be City. I think will run away with the league second half of the season. I think City will have the league wrapped up by April, especially with De Bruyne back now. I mean, if you watched the Newcastle game the other day, it was ridiculous. They were 2-1 down. I mean, they were battering Newcastle. They should never have been 2-1 down anyway. But he comes on and he just changes the game, scores an unbelievable goal that I don't think anyone else in the league could have scored. The way he just gets it between the lines, and he's used the defender as a decoy, passed it through his legs into the bottom corner. Just unbelievable. And then he gets the match-winning assist as well. Don't get me wrong, Oscar Bob done brilliant feat for the goal. But Kevin De Bruyne's just the best player in the Premier League, isn't he? When he's fit. And for me, he's the best midfielder the Premier League's ever seen. I did say that in my combined 11, Premier League all-time 11 video. I genuinely do think he is the best midfielder the Premier League's ever seen. And that's not me disrespecting the likes of Gerrard, Lampard, Yaya Toure, Paul Scholes, Vieira, Keane, Kante, etc. They're all incredible players and they're all good in different ways. But I just think De Bruyne, I just think he's just unbelievable, man. I just love the way he plays. He plays a bit similar to Gerrard in a way, but the consistency, he's done it over, and the fact he's won titles and stuff, and he always performs in the big game. I just think Kevin De Bruyne's ridiculous, and I think that's a big reason why they'll just walk the league second half of the season and end up, I reckon they'll have it wrapped up by April, personally. Then I think it'll be Liverpool, Arsenal and Spurs, but it really wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal don't get their stuff together, if Spurs end up finishing above us. It really, really won't. Spurs have that sort of factor this season that Arsenal kind of had last season. You know, they got Angie, who's been brilliant, and they sort of have that sort of surprise factor where no one quite expects them to be as good as they are, especially with a new manager coming in, not knowing how he's going to do, but by losing the best striker in the world in Harry Kane. Everyone thought that Spurs would probably struggle this season, but they've been brilliant. And I honestly think if they didn't get all the injuries they did, they'd probably be top of the table now and in a good position to challenge for the rest of the season. But thankfully they did, and hopefully you know they don't quite kick on in the second half of the season. But if Arsenal don't get their act together, I could see Spurs finishing above us. But I will go third for Arsenal, fourth for Spurs. I can see Villa dropping out. I think Villa will still get maybe fifth or sixth. Alongside United. It could be either one of them two. If I was going to stick my neck out on the line now, I'd say Villa 5th, United 6th. Yeah, relegation, I think, will be Sheffield, Burnley. And depending what happens with the points deduction, assuming Everton and Forest don't get any, I'll probably will put Luton down there. But that does feel a bit harsh because I do like Luton. I think Luton have been surprisingly quite good. But I think it will probably just be the three that did come up will go straight back down, probably. Golden Boot, Haaland will walk it. He just will when he comes back. I think he's still top goal scorer now, and he ain't played in weeks, so I think he'll walk it. Player of the season could end up going to KDB, you know, especially if City end up turning this season around and running away with it like I suspect they do. If he's fit and playing, I think he might end up getting it. Young player of the season, if Saliba qualifies, I think he'll get it because of assuming he stays fit, obviously, and keeps his form up. But I think he might get it. Cole Palmer might have a shout as well, but I think Saliba might just take it. He's only 22, isn't he? So he should be eligible to get it. I think Phil Foden won it around that age. Manager of the season, I think it might be Ange. I really do. I think, you know, no one expects too much from Spurs, and I think the way he's turned Tottenham around, I think he's been really good. But it does tend to go to the man who wins the Premier League, doesn't it? But if it doesn't, I think Ange might get it. Is there any others I want to talk through? No, I'd say that's about it. But yeah, that's my combined 11 of the team of the season so far. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'm sure I'll get some abuse from it somewhere along the way. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think. If I missed anyone out, your top 4 predictions and your relegation predictions, Golden Boot, player of the season, etc. And yeah, please do like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll be doing my Arsenal preview either tomorrow or Friday, depending when I have the time. And yeah, let's hope for an Arsenal big win on the weekend, because we need to bounce back from, essentially, in my opinion, throwing our season away the last 3 games. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Like I said, please do share and subscribe, like and comment. And yeah, talk to you guys soon. See you. Bye-bye.